Today. K2 News, the station more and more people are watching.
On World News tonight, the raging volcano that cut a city in half. The deadline for new airline security. The terrorists have made it tougher to fly. Being done in by Enron, another example, stuck with a bill that Enron had promised to pay. And the son who spent 26 years on the case of his mother's killers. Finally, he may have prevailed.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin tonight with a volcano. There has been a colossal eruption in Africa. The fire, lava, and smoke have uprooted 500,000 people in 24 hours. It is in the Congo, and rivers of lava from Mount Nyiragongo ripped into the city of Goma, which was packed with refugees from Central Africa's wars. ABC's Martin C. Mungle is there tonight.
Peter, tonight all roads leading out of Goma are full of people. People walking, people sleeping. They're sleeping anywhere they can, most just here by the side of the road, and they are constantly shaken by tremors from the volcano. The rivers of lava ran for more than 30 miles, and they are still running. In some places, the flow of lava is 200 feet wide. It has sparked fires and set off explosions. It has ravaged the land around Goma, and by this afternoon, it cut the city in half. My house is in ruins, this man says, and the lava is still flowing.
The town, the center, there is nothing again.
500,000 people live in Goma until last night. Hundreds of thousands of people have been leaving, many of whom were already refugees from neighboring Rwanda. The airport is shut. You can see the volcano's fire behind the runway. The United Nations peacekeeping mission has been evacuated, and lava is now flowing into Lake Kivu. Mount Nyiragongo is one of 2 volcanoes near Goma, one of the most active volcanoes in all of Africa. Legend has it that an angry spirit lives inside the mountain. No one would argue with that tonight. Martin C. Mungle, ABC News, Goma.
Mount Nyiragongo last erupted seriously in 1977 when 70 people died, and it was only a matter of time before it exploded again. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
Part of the tragedy of Goma is that 500,000 people could not find a better place to live, even though scientists could tell the volcano was a clear threat. With instruments, they can now detect the tiny earthquakes that tell them that molten rock, or magma, may soon burst through the earth.
The transport of magma through a volcano is accompanied by all sorts of creaks and groans. It's like the water in the pipes in an old house.
The Congo volcano was on a giant fault line that runs from the Middle East to Madagascar. It's called the East African Rift Zone, a line between 2 sections of the Earth's crust where molten rock is pushing upwards to form volcanoes.
The easternmost part of Africa is actually splitting apart and spreading eastward. So the African continent is in fact being pulled apart.
Millions of people are caught between such forces. By one estimate, 10% of the world's population lives near enough to a volcano to be in danger if it erupts.
In many volcanic areas, you have very rich soils, very good agricultural areas, and people will inhabit even the lower reaches of what are potentially very dangerous volcanoes.
And scientists say they simply do not have the capacity to monitor all the Earth's danger zones. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
Now to the Enron story. We learned today there was more than one person telling the leaders of Enron that the giant energy company was in trouble. Only 2 weeks before the company collapsed, nonetheless, its CEO mailed employees letters telling them to keep their stock. ABC's Linda Douglas joins us from Capitol Hill, actually from the Washington Bureau tonight. Hi, Linda.
Peter, these emails are very disturbing to some of these employees. We did tell you about a vice president who warned Ken Lay, the CEO, that the company was in trouble. Now we learned tonight of other employees who realized that Enron was hiding its true financial condition from the public. Some of them confronted their bosses and were told there was nothing to worry about. Last summer, research analyst Clayton Vernon was stunned to discover that Enron was hiding its debt in mysterious partnerships.
There were shell companies being created in the Cayman Islands.
The partnerships were so complicated, few could figure out how they worked.
It would take several hours of study by a highly educated professional to trace through all of the relationships.
Vernon believed the partnerships were illegal. In late September, he sent Enron CEO Ken Lay an email saying, "You are a man of integrity. Reassure us we have no problems." Lay wrote back, "I assure you the partnerships are legal and totally appropriate."
If he cared for us, he would have been honest with us, and he was not being honest with us. And of course, we now know that he was being dishonest with us.
Enron had never lost money, but on September 26th, employees were worried trouble was coming. ABC News has obtained an email Lay sent to the employees assuring them the third quarter is looking great.
Well, 4 days later, at the end of the third quarter, they had suffered sharp hundreds of millions of dollars in losses.
Lay told employees he was so optimistic he was buying stock. He did exercise options to buy $2 million worth of stock on August 20th and 21st, but turned around and got rid of it to pay off a loan. Investigators are questioning Lay's decision to get rid of the stock right then, just a few days after he'd been warned by a whistleblower that the company might be in trouble, Peter.
Thank you, Linda. Linda Douglas in Washington this evening. Enron's connections to politicians in both parties and in every part of the country are, as we have reported before, deep and wide. But now that Enron is in collapse and in disgrace, politicians are running. Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
No one on Capitol Hill was given more money by Enron than Texas Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, $100,000 since 1993.
I am giving all of the money that I have received that is Enron related to a charitable institution that will be solely for the benefit of Enron employees.
Hutchison is leading a stampede of senators, congressmen, and political committees. Some are so anxious to disassociate themselves from Enron, they're getting rid of contributions of even a couple $100.
Enron is now radioactive, and our politicians are running for their fallout shelters.
Many politicians like Hutchison are directing the money to funds for employees who lost jobs or retirement funds, but not apparently their cynicism.
It seems a little hypocritical to me because, you know, they took the money in good faith. There was a purpose behind it. And I think now they're just trying to distance themselves from Enron.
Not everyone, of course, is giving up Enron's money. Some say it's already been spent. There's nothing to give back. Other lawmakers say that to give up the money would wrongly imply that the contribution was dirty when it was accepted. Politicians have returned contributions before, for example, when tobacco companies and savings and loans ran into trouble. But there has never been such a dramatic exodus as this.
This is a story about power and greed and bad things happening to good people, and that story is as old as time itself, and everyone in America gets that story. They understand that story.
Especially politicians. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
Bad things happening to good people. This huge collapse of Enron is made up of so many individual stories. When Enron imploded, it laid off more than 4,000 workers. Enron's top executives, as you know, made a fortune as the company went under, but a lot of employees were left holding the bills. So they certainly make it into the outrage file. ABC's David Wright tonight on a couple whose life with Enron ended just as it was beginning.
Larry Trujillo spends much of his time surfing the internet, looking for work. He has bills to pay. In November, he moved his family from Dallas to Houston to take his dream job in the computer department at Enron. 3 weeks later, the company went bankrupt, and like thousands of others, Larry received a voicemail message telling him he was fired.
There's no way they could have not known that the thing was cratering. Part of the time, I went on full time.
2 days later, they got a bill from the moving company for the cost of the relocation.
Basically, what it says is that Enron had defaulted on the moving expenses from the trucking company.
I broke down. I could not believe that somebody would come after us for $12,000 knowing that he didn't have a job.
The family's only income is the $15 an hour Patty Trujillo makes at a temp job, a big drop from the $62,000 salary Larry made at Enron. The family's dining room is still piled high with moving boxes.
The day that they sent Larry and 4,500 other people home, that's the day we really stopped unpacking because we didn't We don't know.
The Trujillos aren't alone. Dozens of former Enron employees are being forced to pick up the tab for their relocations. The company promises to reimburse them, but many, like the Trujillos, are refusing to pay, even though they risk being sued by the moving company. The Trujillos' bill is growing. Because they couldn't pay in 10 days, they are no longer entitled to Enron's corporate discount. They now owe the full cost of the move, plus attorney's fees.
$26,000.
$26,000.
It only makes the Trujillos more angry when they see that Enron chairman Ken Lay is selling 2 of his Aspen homes for $7 million apiece.
I wish there was some way they could make these people sell everything they own and take all the money and divide it between the employees that lost so much.
Okay.
The Trujillos can no longer afford to buy their new house. Instead, they're renting it until they know for sure they can afford to stay.
Thank you, Ken Lay.
David Wright, ABC News, Houston.
Now, in the national briefing tonight, the National Academy of Sciences has pronounced itself on cloning. It says cloning should not occur for the purpose of reproduction. It is not medically safe. But stem cell cloning should proceed because it has considerable potential to cure disease, which puts the Academy at odds with the Bush administration. Near Minot, North Dakota, early this morning, a freight train carrying fertilizer derailed and released a cloud of poisonous ammonia gas. One resident was killed by the fumes, and more than a dozen were taken to the hospital. In Cambridge, Massachusetts today, a former Catholic priest was convicted of molesting a 10-year-old boy in a swimming pool 10 years ago. John Gagan faces up to 10 years in prison. He has been accused of molesting 130 other children over 30 years. And in Austin, Texas today, President Bush's senior political advisor, Karl Rove, said that Republicans running for office should use their credentials from the war on terrorism. Until now, both parties had avoided using the war for political gain. When we come back, the videotape of a vicious attack in Israel. The airlines impose new security restrictions, technology on the cutting edge that may make flying a good deal safer. And a son's commitment to solve his mother's murder. 26 years later, 4 people have been charged.
That was tough, realizing who did it and they're not being held accountable. And that's always been a gnawing issue.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Toyota.
Is 106 cubic feet of interior space really necessary? As a matter of fact, it is. Avalon, the most spacious sedan we've ever created.
Even people who seem alike can have different nutritional needs. So there are different kinds of Ensure to help meet those needs. Ensure high calcium for bone health. Ensure high protein for muscle. Ensure Plus for energy. All complete balanced nutrition when you don't eat foods like these. And now there are delicious new Ensure nutrition and energy bars to enjoy anywhere, anytime. Choose what's best for you. Ensure to your health.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a heart attack. Then I heard about Plavix, so I asked my doctor. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
In the overseas briefing tonight, Colin Powell becomes the first U.S. Secretary of State to visit the Himalayan kingdom, Nepal. Earlier in the day, Mr. Powell ended his visit to India by saying he was greatly encouraged that India and Pakistan would not go to war. That's the Indian foreign minister. And in fact, he's encouraged that India and Pakistan were considering talking again. Pakistan's president, Pervez Musharraf, says he believes that Osama bin Laden is dead from kidney failure. General Musharraf told CNN that bin Laden needed dialysis and doubted whether he has recently been able to get the necessary treatment. In the Philippines today, there were demonstrations outside the U.S. Embassy in Manila against the deployment of U.S. troops to the southern part of the country. More than 200 U.S. servicemen are already there, and many more are still to come. In the Middle East today, the Israelis attacked in the Palestinian territory. It was absolutely predictable after a Palestinian bomber went after and killed 6 Israelis yesterday, an incident that was captured on home video. Here's ABC's Gillian Findley.
It was supposed to be the most exciting night of Nina Kardashova's young life. She was celebrating her bat mitzvah, her coming of age, when the Palestinian gunman burst in. We didn't know what to do, Nina said tonight. My friend just hugged me and told me we have to live through this. 6 of the party guests were killed, including Nina's grandfather. The crowd then beat the gunman and chased him outside. Tonight, Israeli television showed amateur video of policemen shooting him dead. Before staging the attack, 24-year-old Abdel Salam Husana made his own video. I am doing this, he said, to avenge all the Palestinian martyrs. He told his family not to cry for him, but then he broke down. Early this morning, Israel struck back, flattening a Palestinian government building in the West Bank city of Tulkarm and sending troops even deeper into the city of Ramallah. Tonight, Israeli tanks are just 30 yards from Yasser Arafat's headquarters. Gillian Findley, ABC News, Jerusalem.
When we come back this evening, the deadline for new airline security here and some of the new techniques to prevent the terrorists from getting through. That's technology on the cutting edge.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice Beef Tips Portobello?
Why? Because it has lean, tender chunks of beef in a delicious mushroom sauce with crisp vegetables.
Real food just for me.
Why? Because my body needs balanced nutrition from meals that are 97% fat-free and low in cholesterol, with vitamins A and C and iron.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice?
It helps me do the things I like to do. That's why.
Healthy Choice. Feel-good food. Thinking about Viagra? It's now available in a free 6-pill sample pack.
6? That's my number.
So get in the driver's seat and ask about the free Viagra sample pack.
Get to your doctor for a checkup and find out if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
For more information, race over to Viagra.com.
I'm every man.
And every woman who ever suffered from frequent, persistent heartburn.
If you've treated your heartburn and changed your diet, but it comes back 2 or more days a week, then you may know about the burning pain of acid reflux disease.
But there's something about acid reflux that I didn't know.
Over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't.
But today, there's a purple pill called Nexium. It's from the makers of Prilosec. Just 1 prescription Nexium a day gives many people complete resolution of heartburn symptoms.
That could mean complete heartburn relief.
And importantly, Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can determine if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. So talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and for a free trial certificate for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
At Bank of America, we really wanted to participate in the Olympic Winter Games. But in the end, we decided to support the real athletes and stick to the things we do best. like creating the country's largest network of ATMs so you'll have access to your money at every turn.
Molly Sims hosts World's Sexiest Athletes, presented by Us Magazine.
Who's hot and who's the hottest?
Sunday, January 27th at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Sunday, Colin Powell comes to This Week. Plus, America's chief regulator. Enron happened on his watch. Could it happen again? Answers on This Week, Sunday.
If perchance you've been traveling by air today, you know that new baggage screening measures went into effect at airports across the country today. There were very long lines, but no serious delays because of it. The government has had thousands of proposals to improve airport security. ABC's Lisa Stark reports tonight that many of them involve technology on the cutting edge.
Airports around the country are taking matters into their own hands. Fresno Airport is testing facial recognition technology.
Stop, look forward.
Comparing passengers' faces to photos from a federal database of terrorists. Here's what would happen if Osama bin Laden showed up. Biometrics, recognizing people by their unique physical characteristics, is on everyone's list for security options.
I think it has a deterrence as well as has the ability to be able to catch people.
And catching what people are carrying is the focus of other new technologies. This device finds explosives on passengers. I tested it with a small amount of TNT. Here's how the system works.
Air puffers on. Wait for green light.
The machine collects and analyzes particles from my body and clothes and should detect even the smallest trace of explosive material. It did, and it could guard against passengers such as accused shoe bomber Richard Reed.
Whenever there is a way that something could be smuggled on board an airplane for which there is no defense in place, that's where the terrorist is going to go.
Other ideas: enhanced metal detectors to pinpoint concealed weapons, X-ray technology to reveal them under clothing, and machines to analyze voice stress and body temperature to pick out lying passengers. How many of these technologies end up at airports depends on reliability, cost, and how much of a delay passengers are ultimately willing to put up with. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back this evening, one man's long struggle to bring his mother's killers to justice.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. It actually works to remove cholesterol from your body, knocks it right out. Helped me drop 13 points. That's quite a break. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
Thinking about Viagra? It's now available in a free 6-pill sample pack.
6? That's my number.
So get in the driver's seat and ask about the free Viagra sample pack.
Get to your doctor for a checkup and find out if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
For more information, race over to Viagra.com.
Mike, let's take a look at those reports next Thursday. And Tom, Susan, set up a meeting on Monday. Any other thoughts?
You know, sir, instead of saving money by having only one office pen, we could just go to Staples.
Yeah, with Staples 365 Savings, they compare prices and back it up with a 110% price match guarantee.
That's sharp thinking.
Hey, client's here. We need the pen.
Low prices on every item, every day. Staples 365 Savings. Yeah, we've got that.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
I have to go now.
If an overactive bladder makes you go and go and go, go to your doctor and ask about Detrol LA.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Just one daily dose works for 24 hours to help control bladder contractions that cause those sudden urges and reduces accidents and bathroom visits.
Need a break? Not right now.
Prescription Detrol LA. Individual results may vary. You shouldn't take it if you have certain kinds of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Ask your doctor about Detrol LA for overactive bladder when you've always got to go.
To relieve dry eyes, your natural tears lubricate, protect, and hold in moisture. Visine tears do the same thing. So how can your eyes tell the difference? They can't. Visine tears gets the dry out naturally.
I'm Paul Lindman. Coming up next on K2 News, neither NORAD or the FAA can say who's to blame for the snafu that led to fighter jets being scrambled over Portland 2 hours late. Plus, a Portland man fights extradition and murder charges for a crime committed nearly 30 years ago. And a riverfront interest group presents options for eliminating the Markham Bridge and moving I-5 next on K2.
9/8 Central. Finding the broadcast this evening, a son's commitment. In Los Angeles today, a woman named Sarah Jane Olson, there on the right, was given 20 years to life in prison for conspiring to assassinate police officers in 1975. These are not the only charges she faces. After 26 years of effort, a California man has brought Mrs. Olson and 3 others to court, accused of his mother's death. Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
In 1975, Myrna Opsahl was murdered during a robbery at this bank near Sacramento, a robbery allegedly committed by members of the Symbionese Liberation Army. Opsahl, a mother of 4, was in the bank to deposit church donations.
The last thing you could ever imagine, that she was shot dead when she was just out volunteering for the church.
Her son John was 15 at the time. For years, he waited for police to arrest those responsible.
I always figured that people would do their job and they'd get the bad guys and justice would be served.
He had almost given up hope. Then 2 years ago, authorities arrested SLA fugitive Kathleen Celaya, who'd been living as a homemaker under the name of Sarah Jane Olson. Opsahl was enraged that she'd taken on the very persona of his mother.
She actually tried to use the image of a model citizen in her defense when it was my mother, the genuine model citizen, who was killed.
Opsahl believes Celaya's arrest might lead to new evidence. He began a relentless campaign of pressure. He created a website which blasted prosecutors for ignoring evidence. Quote, "We know who pulled the trigger. One of the confessed participants wrote a book and told us." That book was written by Patty Hearst, the newspaper heiress who was kidnapped by the SLA. In it, she names Emily Harris as the shooter, and a callous one at that.
She's quoted as saying, her death doesn't matter, she was a bourgeois pig married to a doctor.
Now Emily Harris is in custody along with 3 others. Opsahl says they are all responsible.
They all saw my mom drop to the floor and the pool of blood surround her and moaning in agony, writhing in pain, and none of them, they all chose to do nothing about it and let her die.
Today, all 4 were arraigned for the murder of Myrna Opsahl, the result in large part of pressure from a grieving son who refused to give up.
The only thing that could bring this case back was the determination of the family members. This was a very cold case.
Opsahl hopes to attend the trial as often as possible. After all, he's been waiting for 26 years. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And that's our report on World News Tonight. Next week on the broadcast, why one man spent over 30 years digging a tunnel in the Mojave Desert. Scientists developing a chip which can be implanted in the body to monitor your health. And doctors who cater to their VIP patients' every whim for a price. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good weekend and that we'll see you on Monday. Good night.
Tonight, a princess accused of pushing her maid down the stairs. Sounds like a modern-day fairy tale? This princess denies it. Now, hear firsthand from the maid. What she has to say is almost unbelievable. 2020 tonight.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, neither the FAA or NORAD knows why it took 4 hours to respond to a small plane threat. K2 investigates. Plus, it's been a hot topic for phone customers why Qwest is now under fire to change its customer privacy policy. And new efforts tonight to move parts of I-5 include burying it and sending it underwater.
Connecting you to your world. This is K2 News.
Good evening, I'm Paul Lindman.
And I'm Kathy Marshall in tonight for Steve Dunn. There are still questions about the military response to reports a pilot might fly his plane into a Portland skyscraper.
K2's Dan Tilken's been investigating the delay. He joins us now with some answers. Dan?
We have some answers, and then we have some answers that beg more questions. Bottom line, an hour went by from the time national defense leaders learned of the threat until they ordered F-15s to launch on Tuesday.
Into the wing,
On Scappoose Airport employee Kevin Feakin says he heard the pilot make the threat to fly his plane into the U.S. Bancorp Tower. It was 2:30 Tuesday afternoon.